What's up, fellas? In this video, I'm going to tell you when to increase and decrease your unit size in sports betting, right? This is something that I get asked quite often, and I have made an in-depth video on this on my website, which is free to any members that join my website in one of the sports betting training courses that I provide. But I'm going to make it on YouTube for you too, in case you haven't signed up to my service, and I'm just going to make it free for everybody on YouTube. So it's important to understand that our unit size is not going to be the same for the entirety of our sports betting career, of course, right? Because our unit size will change according to our bankroll, and our bankroll is going to change throughout our sports betting career as well, right? And if you don't know what bankroll is, go and watch another video. I'm pretty sure I've spoke on that in another video. In short, it is the amount of money that you have to bet on sports, right? It's the money that you are using to bet on sports. That's it. I'm not going to go into it any further. That's what a bankroll is. And your bankroll is going to change regularly, right? AKA the amount of money that you use to bet on sports is going to change all the time. Because if I am using $1,000 to bet on sports and I lose a bet of $100, well then my bankroll is now $900, right? So the amount of money that I have to bet on sports, AKA my bankroll, has now changed. If I win a bet, it's going to increase. So the bankroll is changing all the time. And the unit size should change all the time too as well. Now, if you don't know what a unit size is just a unit of measurement equivalent to your bankroll, right? So there's many different ways you can set your unit size, but for the ease of this, for ease of understanding and this video, we're just gonna say that your unit size is 1% of your bankroll. So 1 unit equals 1% of your bankroll. So if I have $100, right? Or if I have $1,000 in my bankroll, the amount of money I have to bet on sports, then 1 unit is gonna be $10, right? Now, a lot of people ask me, James, when do I increase my unit size? When do I decrease my unit size? I'm gonna tell you in this video. There's 2 ways to do it, right? So first of all, we know that our unit size is changing all the time along with our bankroll. As our bankroll increases, our unit size increases. As our bankroll decreases, our unit size decreases as well, right? If our bankroll increases by 1%, well then our unit size is gonna increase by 1%, right? Or 1% of the bankroll, our unit size will increase. AKA, if our unit size was $10 with an $1,000 bankroll, but now our bankroll increases by 1% to $1,010, well now our unit size is 1% of that, which is $11, right? But it's not smart to change your unit size every single time your bankroll changes. It's too volatile, right? The streaks that you go on in sports betting, the upswings, the downswings, are way too volatile to change your unit size every single time your bankroll increases or decreases. Because it's gonna happen too much. Your bankroll will change on every single bet you place. Unless the bet is void and you get the exact same amount of money back, then your bankroll will change every single bet. So it's not smart to change your unit size every single bet. It's too volatile. It's just too much work as well. If I had to change my unit size every single time I placed a bet, it would be absolute insanity, right? I would lose track of it. I couldn't do it. It's impossible. So I'm going to give you 2 specific ways to change your unit size, right? The first is the 50% rule, and it's my favorite rule, right? So we'll speak about that last, because my favorite one is the one I suggest to everybody, but I'm gonna give you 2, right? Because there's many ways to do it. There's no one size fits all. Very important thing to understand in sports betting is that there's no one size fits all. There's many ways to skin a cat. There's many ways to increase and decrease your unit size. These are the 2 I like, these are the 2 I prefer, and we'll touch on the one I prefer less first, and we'll finish with the main one, right? So the first one is the 6-month rule. And what I mean by that is every 6 months you change your unit size according to how your bankroll has changed. So for example, if my bankroll has increased by 22% over a 6-month period, and the only way you'll know that is by tracking your bets. You have to track your bets, you have to track your bankroll. This is the only way you're gonna make real money from sports betting. I've spoke about that in depth on lots of videos. I'm not gonna go into it in this video, but I will mention it. Make sure you're tracking your bets. It is paramount. If you don't track your bets, you ain't gonna earn money in the long run. Full stop. I don't care who you are. You're gonna make mistakes. You're not gonna know what you're doing, etc., etc. There's gonna come a point in time where you are losing money because you're not tracking your bets. So if you have increased your bankroll by, 22% over the 6 month, you look at your spreadsheet, you look at your track results, you realize that your bankroll has gone up from $1,000 to $1,222, aka or $1,220, aka you've increased it by 22%. Well, then your unit size should now be increased, right? So your unit size should be increased by 22% because your bankroll has been increased by 22%. The exact same thing. If your bankroll has decreased by 50%, well then your unit size should decrease by 50%. If our bankroll was $1,000, then our unit size is $10, as I've mentioned before. Now, if after the 6-month period, you realize that I don't have $1,000 in my bankroll anymore, I actually have $500, well, that means your bankroll is halved, aka your bankroll has decreased by 50%. Now you have $500, right? So in that case, your unit size shouldn't be $10 anymore. It now should be $5. So as your bankroll increases, decreases, your unit size decreases. And in this, with the 6-month rule, what we're doing is every 6 months, we're looking at our bankroll and determining, has it increased or has it decreased? And then we increase or decrease our unit size based on that. So that's something you can do. It allows for the swings. Like I said, there's many swings in sports betting. Very volatile. Up 1 week, down the next week. 1 month you're doing great, the next month you're doing bad. That's just how it is. And we have to manage our bankroll accordingly. So every 6 months, it allows for the upswings and downswings. If you're changing your bankroll every 3 weeks or every 6 weeks, it's too volatile, right? I like the 6-month rule. I don't suggest it for everyone, but I do like the 6-month rule because it allows for the upswings and downswings to level out a little bit. 6 months is a long time. It just allows you to ride out the volatility a little bit before you change your bankroll. My favorite bankroll increase, decrease structure is the 50% rule. Now, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, but what that means is when your bankroll increases by 50%, you also increase your unit size by 50%. When your bankroll decreases by 50%, you also decrease your unit size by 50%. The reason I suggest this over the 6-month rule is because it takes care of the volatility better, right? And the reason is because anything can happen in this 6-month period. Like you might go down 90 units. 90% of your bankroll might be gone in that 6-month period. And then you have to decrease your unit size, right? And now your unit size is tiny because you only have 10% of your bankroll left. Whereas if you go by the 50% rule, your bankroll would have never decreased by 90% because when it's decreased by 50%, you would have reduced your unit size, meaning that the extra 40% of bankroll you lost, 50 to 90, that's extra 40%, would have been a lesser amount because of the 50% rule. Same thing with increasing your bankroll, right? If you increase your bankroll every 50%, it allows for the volatility, it levels out the volatility a little bit because if our bankroll increases by 90% over 6 months, well then we would have lost money on the 6-month rule because if we increased our bankroll after 50%, then the extra 40%, we would have won more money on it because our bankroll would have been increased on the 50% rule, but it would not have been increased or decreased on a 6-month rule. So I definitely prefer the 50% rule. Now, obviously, sometimes the 6-month rule can work out better numbers-wise because maybe you go on a down streak just before the 6-month period or whatever it may be, right? Or just after it. But overall, I always suggest the 50% rule. So it's self-explanatory, you know. I'll just explain it again one more time. Once your bankroll increases by 50%, aka if it goes from $1,000 to $1,500, then you also increase your unit size in line with that. So your unit size is increased by 50%. So your unit size is not $10 anymore. Your unit size is now $15. And then vice versa, you know, if it goes down by 50%, then you decrease your unit size. You can also change this to the 25% rule, or the 33% rule, or the 100% rule. Some people who are very risk adverse, they don't change their bankroll until, I know people who do this, they don't change their bankroll until they've earned a whole nother bankroll. So they wait till they've earned 100% extra, wait till they earn another bankroll, and then they increase their unit size, right? So there's many ways to skin a cat, there's many ways you can do this, and obviously when they lose it, they're more risk averse, they use the 50% rule or the 25% rule. Obviously they don't use the 100% rule because then all the bankroll's gone. So yeah, those are the 2 ways I should suggest to increase your unit size. 50% rule would definitely be my go-to, but there's many ways to skin a cat, but it's very important to understand that you have to adjust your unit size because of the inherent volatility of sports betting. Like I said, 1 month you're winning a lot, the next month you're losing a lot. No one can avoid losing periods. No one can even avoid winning periods. If you're the worst gambler in the world, you're still gonna go through periods where you win. And because we can't avoid these periods of downtrends and uptrends, we need to be able to control them, manage them smartly with bankroll management. And this is a heavy portion of bankroll management, changing, increasing and decreasing your unit size. So I hope the video helps you. Good luck on your bets in the future, and I'll see you in the next video.